I'm here to talk about Daredevil Born Again. It is one of the bright spots in the MCU. The MCU has been you know what I'm saying? It's been a roller coaster. It hasn't been as consistent as it was like back when it was, the good old days on the way up to Avengers Endgame. It's been more like, oh my God, that's good. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, it's good. What the hell is that? Oh, that's okay. Oh, what the hell? Okay, I see a few. Okay, Moon Knight. Okay. What the fuck? That's what we've been seeing. A few reasons why Daredevil is a bright spot. Daredevil, it has some type of consistency. We have characters that are so beloved, actors that are so beloved, reprising their roles, and they are enthusiastic and happy to be back. This means that all the chemistry on the scenes and behind the scenes, hopefully, is lining up much better than before, because a lot of times whenever things don't line up right, people don't want to work anymore. People want to leave. And then we see different actors that got the same names of other characters. Hey, sometimes you can't help it, especially when you got licenses and stuff like that. But hopefully Disney acquiring like the majority of the majority of the popular characters, like hopefully this is a good sign of the future. Me personally, I feel like, especially after the few fiascos that we had in the MCU, such as like the complications with Jonathan Majors, as he was supposed to be the main villain, the way how COVID hit, it affected the entire movie industry. It affected the entire entertainment industry. So like for me personally, I've been treating these last few years as filler, because when you got so much invested in these projects and you're also trying to reignite the enthusiasm of people going back to the theater again, you're gonna be trying to finish these projects that were started, but the vision is probably not gonna come into the fruition that was expected. So like, it was like a lot of stuff, like the way how Black Widow was rolled out, it didn't feel right. The way how they had to show the whole plan, they had to show the whole layout of what was gonna come out in the MCU over the next the next decade. I think they showed like a decade worth of movies that was supposed to come out. It takes away the magic. It takes away the magic when you can see how everything is gonna like be planned out, because I guess like it was so many things that dropped, like the way how the Eternals was received, the way how Thor Love and Thunder, like the way how the Blade movie was going through its complications, it like how people are just unreliable at even listening for a release date on that. The way how all of that like culminated together, it just looked messy. And I was just like, me personally, I'm sitting up here like, maybe some time is needed for things to get reorganized. Maybe we gotta get back into some consistency with these releases. And then like with the storyline that they're going for, we're going into unpopular territory. We're going into like comic fanatic territory when it comes to this. Like a lot of stuff that helped out the previous success of the MCU was proof of concept. Thanos was familiar. He was off up in like video games and stuff like that. He had whole sagas that contributed to him. Even when you go back, of course, almost everybody with the best origin story movies had some familiarity with him. Spider-Man, the X-Men, and even when you go like to your Captain Americas and stuff, I remember seeing pieces of this in the cartoons that we were watching back in the day. Proof of concept. But now we're getting into a place where only the people that were reading deep into the comics are gonna start be understanding this. So it's gonna have to be more relativity when it comes to it. And this brings me back to Daredevil. Daredevil Born Again, the series at Disney Plus, is it's a continuation of what was the Netflix series. At this time, I'm 4 episodes in. It's pretty good. I guess I should say spoiler warnings. We got Charlie Cox coming back. We got John Berthal coming back as the Punisher. We got Vince D'Onofrio coming back as the Kingpin, and a bunch of other characters that's gonna be familiar faces but this is not finna be the casting and crew special. Yeah, we start off the series with a bang. We got tragedy immediately at the beginning. So tragic that Daredevil throws his mask off the roof like, fuck everything, I don't want to deal with this shit anymore, it's cost too much. And then over these last few episodes, the pressure is on, but the pressure is on him and the Kingpin, because the Kingpin is trying to change too. The Kingpin is trying to go from being a strong-armed gangster to a full-blown politician, so he is trying to give up a certain lifestyle too. It's interesting in this show, I would say, like, things that this show has going for it. We got this build-up. This build-up is not immediately jumping into, hey, put on the costume and bah, 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 bah. The costume got like sat down in the first episode. And then like over the course, we getting to see character development, these situations that play out. It's really showing off that the people behind this show want to show and express more than just fight scenes and superheroes wearing tights. It's way deeper than that. It's showing something that's the day-to-day activities on what's making these characters like this. The show is doing a good job at showing the dichotomy, shout out to Jocko Willink, between somebody who is being pressured into being a hero and somebody who is being pressured to becoming a villain. I don't know if it's their comfort zones. I don't know if it's sinning against themselves because they feel like they got to keep up some type of prideful promise that they built up. Those are things that come to mind because those are things that we all relate to as people. We say we're not going to do certain things anymore, but a lot of times whenever crisis strikes, we regress. Or sometimes we progress into those things, into another form of what we used to be. On one episode, like one such episode where the pressure was on, it was dude who played White Tiger. Shout out to the actor that played him. I'm gonna say R.I.P. He passed. It told me, man, it was a dude. He was fighting crime. He was being a vigilante. He was like, Daredevil was gone. Somebody got to protect the people. But he was walking up and down the street, like civilian type walking. And that told me, you cannot do that, man. Like heroes, your traversal or your travels, you gotta be accommodated by something. Like even when it showed Daredevil in like the first episode, he was like on the rooftops. He is not walking around on the sidewalk, man. That movie, shout out to the movie Kick-Ass. But you see how I want to say in Kick-Ass, in those Kick-Ass movies, it showed you how dangerous it was if you wanted to fight crime, or if you wanted to, like, if you seen somebody getting mugged in the alleyway and you decided to get into some clothes, like some bright colored coordinated clothes, and try and stop somebody from being mugged, you were probably gonna get jumped, stabbed, almost like get killed. This show showed that. And this show is willing to go to darker places than I'm used to seeing, like with Disney, because you know one thing that the MCU has is everybody is quippy. Everybody gotta be quippy. Somebody gotta say a joke or something before the scene ends to make us chuckle before the transition. This show is not aiming at that. This show is in the dark. It's in a darker place. This is not bad. I like this. It keeps me, it keeps it nice and suspenseful. It keeps me to the point whenever I see certain scenes, I'm ready for whatever's next. Like that ending of the second episode, whenever y'all see that, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. You're gonna understand this frustration, the rage. You're gonna understand it because the show sets it up to make sense. And this is coming from me watching those first 3 Netflix seasons. I don't know what it's like for somebody that hasn't watched that. I don't know if they're like expecting this to be a brand new fresh show. I don't think they know where it came from, but they got the whole show. Like the whole show is cataloged like right there. So if you have access to Born Again, you have access to the previous series. Yeah, if you got some homework to do, go ahead. I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy the ride. You're gonna enjoy the ups and downs. This here is a bright spot in the MCU for me. We got, you know what I'm saying? We got a few bright spots. We got this Daredevil series. Spider-Man with Tom Holland is doing pretty good. Like, you know, of course people are always going to complain about stuff, but that last movie is like one of the best multiverse live action movies. And I want to say it alley-ooped off of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales. Miles Morales has dug out his own lane when it comes to like being represented in the MCU. Miles Morales has dug out his own lane. Shout out to everybody that came through and made cameos and stuff on that, because Into the Spider-Verse is damn near like it got the amount of homage and the amount of like goofiness of like the Lego movies. But even with the cliffhanger ending on the Into the Spider-Verse, I'm ready for what's up next. It was a dark ending, man. It was a pretty dark ending. We also have Deadpool. You know, Deadpool did beautifully last year. I got a video talking about that. Came through and made $1 billion real quick by embracing and celebrating everything, the good and the bad, of the MCU over the last 20 years. Yeah, those are the bright spots that we have. All the dark stuff, you could search YouTube and find out everybody that's roasting all of the mishaps and all this stuff with the MCU. If we play into these strengths, hey, we got the potential. Are we gonna be back like how it was back in the day? I don't know if that's achievable. All that stuff lined up so beautifully. Robert Downey Jr. went off script and said, "I am Iron Man," and it kicked off the momentum that went all the way to I am Iron Man snapping a finger at the end of Endgame. Legendary, unwritten, unplanned, just pivot motion all the way into it. And I don't know if they looking for those moments like that anymore. I don't know if anybody is charismatic enough to take a risk like that. I don't know if they do it all the time and then they be like, just keep it in the movie. I don't know. We're gonna see what the MCU got, man. Hopefully, like I said, I believe it's a filler stage that we getting out of. We can get into a more solid state. I don't even care about the foreshadowing of movies and stuff like that, because if we find out that if somebody gets caught like pissing in the alleyway, they're gonna cancel them, and then everything that was planned is gonna go down the drain. I don't know, man. I don't know what could happen, but I'm a Marvel kid. I got Marvel t-shirts. I grew up with the Marvel action figures. These dudes had us in a chokehold as kids. Whether you had cable, you had basic TV, you were gonna be watching some superheroes on those Saturday mornings, and you're gonna have some action figures off to the side at least, and you're gonna see commercials everywhere. And then of course we got the video games too. Hopefully we'll get a Daredevil video game one day. Shout out to I'm gonna give a shout out to his channel. Shout out to Prince Gaitan, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm gonna put it somewhere around this screen. He made a Daredevil concept video using the Unreal Engine 5. That's gonna be it. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Y'all be safe. Come on, man. MCU, you got this.